Wilkister, habari ya leo? Aha.
Good morning.
Aha, I know umeweka sura ya kazi. Good to see you. Mambo. How was your holiday?
Holiday was good. We celebrated the local heroes and the bigger ones, and of course God.
Kuna international?
Yes, kuna international heroes.
Kina nani ya?
Nigerians are on the streets and they're making us proud. So they're heroes in their own right.
By the way, you know, majamaa pia wameweza tata kuingia pale, and I think before you do that, wacha nipeane shoutouts kidogo, alafu nikirudi tuongee mambo ya dunia vile inaenda. Na tutaanzia pale Nigeria. Tujue kunaendaje lakini. Naona kuna jamaa wameamuka hapa asubuhi mapema. Titus Chumba anasema tuned in. Maria Skip anasema morning. The Takola Santa Collins Miso anasema good morning. Jakama Sini anasema morning farm from 001. Cheriot Wesley Kipruta anasema morning guys. Cheriot from Eldoret. Bedian K anasema good morning Takola tuned in from Thika Kiambu. Watu wa Kiambu habari ya asubuhi. Aaron Maina Mwangi anasema tuned. Nyenkwa Kefa Wesley anasema Nyamakoroto Nyamira County in tuned in today. I'm among the first people. Alright, asante sana Nyenkwa Kefa. One day Bonaya anasema good morning. Ukwa Isaac anasema tuned in from Finland. Good job bro. Asante sana Ukwa Isaac. Stabo anasema following. Sami Meli anasema tuko ndani. Ondari Kasiriba Cosmo anasema number 6 na leo. Uko number 6 bro. Umeanguka uko number 15 huko. Jumba Ian Kipton anasema niko tuned in Adelaide Australia. Watu wa the land down under Australia. Tunapenda zaidi. Thank you so much for always tuning in the morning. Starboy anasema tuned. Mike Tanui morning. Tarkwell. Unajua wakati Ngujiri alikuwa hapa alitupea jina mpya. Anasema tunaitwa Tarkwell. Alright. That is Mike Tanui. Good to see you. Mwita Mwangi anasema morning. Matthew Gibbets anasema good morning. Bitalk logged in from Elbagon. Jerry Odis Okongo anasema good morning Taklas. Good morning to you. Lawrence Kigen Kiblagat. Good morning Taklas ndani nikiwa Isli. Lord Robert Mutai anasema good morning too. Bedian K naona ameamusha Lewi ni Thumbi Mreithi wa Lucy, Collins Ajuang, Caroline Gatia, Margaret Kamau, James Boniface Washira, Makef Ndungu anasema let's tackle, come let's tackle. Tafadhali kila mtu amshe mtu. Ukifika pale amsha watu na ushare. Kama unafika hapo nimekupiga shout out na hujashare, ujue wewe ni criminal. Ronald Kimunsa anasema good morning sir, watching from Kisii. Asante sana. Onyingo akiwa today I'm among the first 10 people na ngoja hiyo credo sana. Julius anasema morning from Busia Kenya. Bedian K anasema happy birthday Elder Kiongo Karanja. Elder Kiongo Karanja, happy birthday from the tackle. Khalif Mohamed anasema morning from Nandi County. Kimton Sama locked into the tackle. Hashtag the tackle. Ken Chuba, some watching from Alabama. Hey, watu wa Alabama asante sana. Watu wa majuu. So tumeenda international. Your heroes. Anyway, Bedian Kia sama Naftali, Chebi, Vincent Chebi, let's join the tackle. Tafadhali ya mwisho watu. Moyes Hadi Teacher anasema tuned in kabisa zima man well represented. Veronica Sang tuned in from Healthcare City Dubai. Kenya Mamode anasema I always follow you sir. Thank you. Bedian K. Amen. Thanks for the prayers. You're the bishop bwana. Kuna upako. Mwenge Wafula anasema tuned in from Mogadishu. Lil Koima all the way from Iten anasema good morning to tackle pray for Nigeria. Hashtag the answers. Namaz de Cruz anasema niko ndani nikiwa Nairobi. Alan Langata anasema good morning Lucia ako leo. Lucia aliendeko pale Western lakini atarudi kabla wiki haijaisha. I think tutakuweko na yeye Monday. Lucia alikimbia nyumbani kidogo kwenda kuangalia mashujaa wake wa nyumbani lakini anarudi. Eno Klima anasema tuned in from Kamakawa. Kangaru Maina anasema Gerald Bitoki you are doing a good job. Thank you so much Kangara Maina. Thank you so much. Thank you Morene. Mohaya Van anasema good morning the tackle. That's Komora morning tuned in from Kitale as always. Watu wa Kitale na kuna mtu wenu hapa. Masibai Gido anasema good morning. Julius Victor Kajiado, Walter Moriasi Motuko Moriasi tuned in from Kisii. Nasikia jana wa Kisii mumepewa huduma kadi. Anyway, Ngugi Gits anasema niko ndani. Darius Masai anasema live from Doha. Asante Moses Makosh anasema tuned in from Kitale. Mwenge Wafula good morning the tackle team. Peter Kibet Arab Coach anasema Lobby Talk. Good morning to you Peter Arab Coach. Edwin Tuma anasema good morning watching from Lamu. QS Mwangi Kikuyi tuned in. Michael Keter morning Michael Ketere. Felix Kiptani Sirma sama Doha live. Haya, wacha tuanze kabla sijakuja kurudi kumaliza shoutouts kidogo. We need to go to Nigeria. The things that are happening in Nigeria is quite sad. And it's interesting that it's happening in the 21st Africa, where we're talking about human rights, we're talking about right to life, we're talking about progressing as a continent. It's quite sad. And for that reason, naomba for those people who don't know what actually happened in Nigeria. Yesterday, the military shot into protesters in a place in Abuja, Nigeria. Wakalima watu, and a lot of people are feared dead. Nigerians are people who have been uprising against the oppression going on in this country. So that we don't have the guts to stand up against this government. But anyway, kabla tujaenda sana kwa hiyo mambo, I would request that we take a minute of silence for the people of Nigeria. Kirudi hata wewe mwenye una comment afadhali chukua a minute of silence. When we come back tukuje tuelezee daktari atuambie what the things is happening in Nigeria. WILKISTER will also give us a short what's happening. 1 minute starts now. Alright, for the people of Nigeria, poleni sana kwa hiyo maneno ambayo iliendelea pale Nigeria, and I want to pick your mind on the same thing, Daktari, when we go to WILKISTER.
Thank you very much, Gerald. You know, I think what is really going on in Nigeria is so many years of oppression. I think you must recall that you know, Nigeria has had experiences of military coups. In fact, the current ruler, the current president, General Buhari, is a former military ruler. And we've had in the past, you know, the use of the military, the use of the police to really, really oppress the citizenry. I think you recall in the past, you know, the killing of very powerful activists in places like Ogoniland, you know, such as Ken Saro-Wiwa and others. You know, you've had crazy cases of terrorism, cases of kidnapping of girls. Hundreds and thousands of them up to now have not reappeared. And so we're dealing with a country where the security forces and the police in particular have gone amok for a very long time. And so citizens in Nigeria have, you know, have said enough is enough, that they can no longer live with this reality. And I think what is also evident is that it's not just in Nigeria where we have police brutality visited on citizenry. We have this reality in our own sub-region, whether in Tanzania, if you follow, you know, what is going on in relation to the Tanzanian general election campaign right now, you know, the manner in which Tundu Lissu is being harassed, you know, the manner in which his campaigns are being disrupted, the way citizens are being, you know, pushed around. You know, you go across the border, whether in Uganda, and you see what you know, what other leaders they are going through, and all the way back home here. I think really we cannot have democratic states if we do not democratize our security infrastructure, to the extent that security forces are not accountable to to civilian authorities in a consistent, in a transparent manner. You know, to that extent, we will still see this kind of oppression going on. And so what is going on in Nigeria on the part of citizenry is really commendable. You know, citizens must stand up against the oppression you know, by the police, by the security forces, whether in Nigeria, in Tanzania, in Uganda, or in our own country, Kenya. And we cannot and we must not countenance a situation where, you know, it is the rule by force and terror, you know, that is controlling the mind and the decisions, you know, of our citizens.
All right, I want to pick the same your mind on the same thing, WILKISTER.
I think for me, it's more about us being human in the sense that...
Let's pull your mic closer. No.
It's for us being more human in the sense that when the police are handling people, can they handle people with a bit of dignity? Can they arrest someone or stop protesters with a bit of dignity? If you look at what is happening in Nigeria, it is really sad. And world over, I think that there's a fire catching on of citizens becoming more active in terms of how they participate in issues that are of national concern, that are really putting down, you know, the citizenry. We had the Black Lives Matter, you know, campaign. I think this really got people across the world thinking about how active citizenship can change the face of how leadership accounts to its people. And that is what has caught on in Nigeria. And even locally, I think there have been groups that are, you know, advocating for or against police brutality. But what we've not seen is people outside of the civil society joining these groups. Because we see in Nigeria, we had even artists, the WizKids of this world and everyone. But when these protests happen in Kenya, because they do happen, I know of campaigns over the coronavirus period that, you know, young people are really advocating against police brutality. But when they went on the streets or when they presented their petitions, we did not really see people outside of the civil society or even, the general citizenry, joining them to say that we are adding our voice. I don't think in that regard that Kenyans are angry enough about how systems oppress us. So I think it is about time for us as Kenyans to catch on to this fire, because active citizenship is the way to go in terms of holding leadership accountable. Yeah.
All right. That's what do you think? Actually, you guys, if you say today, let's undress and go to State House Road, we will be the first one to pull off the trouser. The scar. I think that is actually the essence of that's the issue with activism or active citizenry. That's where the problem at times is. So, daktari, a lot of people, we heard that first of all, kwanza kumon kwanza ndio tuanze kujua daktari ni nani. So I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself in a nutshell. Who are you? What do you do? Where do you come from? What are the things that you want to see in this country? What pushes you every morning to do the things that you do?
Thank you, Gerald, for the opportunity to be, at the tackle. And I think it's really a great program and a great engagement with our citizens. So my name is Abraham Korir Singoe, and I'm presently legal advisor in the Deputy President's office. That is Dr. Ruto's office. But just stepping back, obviously I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. My work over the last 15 years as an advocate have really revolved around championing the rights of marginalized communities. If you have been following my work, you will realize that my real passion is to fight oppression. This studio is in Kibra, which is one of the constituencies that I did a lot of work with the Nubian community, just across the road, a community that had been denied nationality for many years, a community that had been denied their land rights for many years. They still are denied land rights by and large. But I did defend this community to an extent where 90% of them right now do have identity cards and are able to, exercise their civil and political rights within our country, as well as economic, social, and cultural rights. I also I also defended the Ogier community, which is this forest community in the Mao forest, and I filed a suit on their behalf, not just in this country, but also in using regional and international mechanisms, especially the African Commission and the African Court. And the recent pronouncement by the African Court to the effect that the Ogiek have land rights in relation to the Mao, I think represents some of the most important work that we have done. And a number of other communities that have represented. I can talk about the Enderoys, I can talk about the El Chamos and other communities, other marginalized communities that a lot of Kenyans really have no idea about. So in the context of working with marginalized communities, I came face to face with exclusion, with a sector of our society that no one knows much about, cares much about. And in the context of, fighting for their inclusion, I realized that we needed to do more as a country to deal with social, political, and economic discrimination. And that's what continues to animate my work today. I mean, I work in government right now. I work for the Deputy President of the Republic, where part of the work I do is to, I do a lot of legislative work. I do work around intergovernmental relations, especially in relation to a body called the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, which is the body that negotiates issues of shareable revenue. So issues that you had recently around the formula by the Senate, are part of the issues that are discussed within the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council. The other work that I do revolves around accountability. I am the lead person within government on a program called the Open Government Partnership, where we bring together civil society, private sector, government and citizen groups around conversations around accountability and how we can use technology and citizen participation to open up by default all our systems, including procurement systems. And so that's just in a nutshell the kind of work that I do. And so I'm motivated by social justice, by inclusion, and by empowerment of people. I come from Kitale, that's where I was born and bred. the county of Trans Nzoia, the Corn County of Kenya, one of the counties that is really meant to be prosperous, but a county that is probably unrivaled in terms of poverty, in terms of ethnic balkanization, and in terms of disempowerment. And we're trying to do some work in Trans Nzoia to change that, that sad and sordid situation that the people are faced with. Yeah.
All right. So it would be safe to say you are a land rights activist.
Absolutely. I think I'm a land rights activist, but broadly, really, I'm a social justice activist. Yeah, because land rights is just one of the arenas in which we.
So are you trying to change things in Trans Nzoia, because you've said it is actually meant to be successful, but it's not. But you're trying to do something.
Absolutely, yes. So I focused around the country previously, where I've worked with all these communities, but then I realized back at home, that there are serious cases of oppression there. Maize farmers are getting a raw deal, like Nigeria. I keep saying that Trans Nzoia experiences the same thing Nigeria experiences. Nigeria has oil, but the beneficiaries of oil resources reside in the capital in Abuja, and outside the country. So it experiences something called the resource curse, in the sense that the communities, the resource host communities of these oil resources are not getting a thing. In the same way, Trans Nzoia has a resource curse, because whereas we are the biggest producers of maize, there is not a single factory. There's no single milling factory in Trans Nzoia where maize is processed and value added. And so there are no jobs that are being created. There's no greater value, for the corn that these people have, and so in the end they get the least in terms of prices, from their produce. And so there is a real resource curse situation as well, in Trans Nzoia.
All right. WILKISTER, someone was asking me yesterday, what is a youth development consultant? Mnakorogea vijana simiti ni?
What youth development consultancy is, in my context, is I work with young people, directly with youth, and sometimes through youth-serving organizations. And it involves researching and learning trends that young people between 18 to 35 go through, and then using that information now to help implement programs or strategies that directly target the young people. That is what it entails. Yeah. So for me, working in that space is a passion area. And a little backstory to where I started. My first year at the university, I volunteered at a political party. At that time, it didn't make sense to anyone, in my age group. But for me, it came from a place of wanting to change leadership and wanting to see better in how Kenya is governed, and even, hopefully spread it across Africa and the world. So that is where I started. So I've worked with political parties for about 5 years now. So I have great experience with that. I've been the executive director of a political party as well. I have also richly worked with civil society organizations, particularly ones dealing with governance and the ones targeting young people as their focus areas. So yeah, that pretty much is it. Yeah.
That's what else you do. There's something also called Run for Office. What is it all about?
So Run for Office is new. It's a passion project of mine. As I said, I really love young people, and I want to see young people propelled to positions of leadership where they have the integrity enough to change the leadership of this nation. For what Run for Office is doing, it is poising young leaders in their diversity, ethnic minorities, young people living with disability, all young people between 18 to 35 to run for office. So we set you up to run for office. We give you a mini manifesto, we do your branding, we do a bit of your communication, and then that gives you a platform as a young person, including some merchandise that you can help young people campaign. And that platform does give a young person who's serious about running for office and winning a platform where you can actually present yourself as a credible candidate to run for any office in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when are you setting up Singwai?
I'm slightly over 35.
Yeah, as long as kama hujafika hapo bado ni kijana. Hata niliona jana watu wa Mashujaa Day walikuwa wanacheza wanasema wao ni vijana. So you're never far from it.
But I also wish to mention that this is a passion project. So even the designers, the videographers, the photographers we're working with are well experienced people. So they are able to run your own campaign away from the young people, the young people's thing. So this is a passion project for us.
So we need to set up Singoe. Singoe, we are setting you up under the tackle. Tackle, you're going to tackle your campaign. You're going to tackle your campaign. All right, that's brilliant, guys. Wacha nikimbize niangalie nipige shots kidogo kwa masalafu tukirudi tuangalie magazeti. Nini inaendelea kwenye magazeti siku ya leo? Berian K anasema Lilian. By the way, Berian K, I owe you airtime today. Ile kazi umefanyia tackle, I'll get you airtime today. Berian K anasema Lilian Kireru come get informed by Taklas. FJ Boy anasema good morning Taklas. Francis Shegi anasema good morning, morning from Nairobi. Cherioti anasema niko ndani from JKI, ni baridi lakini tuko ndani ya show. Oe, ile baridi iko Nairobi leo akia nani sijui tutakaa namna gani. OJ's BMG jamaa wa Mbakasi mwenyewe, yes, show on top. Asante. Jebora keeps Justin anasema good morning to you. Lauren Tumba anasema good morning sir from Kiambu. Eric Kithuka anasema Eric watching from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Walter Moriasi Mothuku anasema Kisii tuned in. Watu wa kwanza kupata huduma namba Kenya hii. Bor Josephat anasema good morning watching from Nairobi. Chepkoech anasema Kericho. Koriare Benai keeps good morning. Ondari Siriba kwa Saudi Arabia watch Saudi Arabia watching the tackle boy. Mother tongue influence. Leonard the captain anasema 036 na kuona kwa Inange wa anasema tuned in from Marmanet Laikipia. Korira Benai keeps morning tuned in from Shokimau. Bernard Smith good morning Gerald, you're doing a great job watching from Kamsawar Elgeyo Marakwet. Asante sana, thank you so much Bernard. Amos Koeja sema good morning watching from KCO. Eric Limo tunakungoja Moiben nafukuja kabisa. Wajua jamaa fagia area kidogo, we are coming. Eric awe Muria sema picha na sauti safi kama pamba watching from Papua New Guinea. Thank you watu wa New Guinea. Asante Flames Lento sema following from Thika, I'm rotonated. Lebe Irene nasema tuned in from County 034. Keep it up bro. Coach Brian nasema Eldoret City ndio ao sisi. Good morning the tackle. Asante sana Coach Brian. Usiaba definitely good morning our people. Jackson Kipkoech anasema morning team from Kericho County. Victor Cheria anasema good morning the tackle. Naona Honorable Kiru anasema Jamge Daktari Singoe, you are loud and clear. We are following closely from Dallas, Texas. Umesalima kutoka maneno ni international. Yeah, you are going to kick CNN out of business. Nankano Juang Daktari anasema that's your friend. Anasema very exciting and great overview of abuse of police and prosecution to protect regimes. Karibu Daktari. Asante. Onyigwa Kiafa anasema what is happening in Nigeria is really sad. Boss Ben Kebos anasema falling from Rongena in Narok County. Jackie Yako anasema they need to completely dismantle SARS in Nigeria. Alright. John W. Karim anasema good morning dear. Taklas Kiptanu Ruben anasema and SARS hashtag Dennis Kibiwa Tsila kwa sababu Singwai is my fellow constituent. Sharp guy. Pass my regards. Umesalimia Violet Nafula anasema Kitale is well tuned. Henry Kimeli Kapinga anasema Kiingereza tupu from Abraham Singwai. I actually wanted to ask you where you got your English from because that is not our English. We need to sue you for being a white man in a black skin.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
You're lucky. Sasa zingine inabidi tunaumuuma ulimi kidogo ndio kazi ingie. Wanabakiri wanasema wakili you should give a shot at gubernatorial seat in Trans Nzoia. You have what it takes to lead that county so that tuko pamoja. By the way, you need to think about that. Jana ulikani wanasema Candy Talks bold panel and I believe that we as Kenyans should take a bold approach to know and understand our rights. Kipkemech Alphonse Wasingo speaks American accent. Tataambia alitoa hapa Kiingereza. Mathai Arab Manena anasema morning Mombasa tuko locked. Mr. Ndoto good morning from the tackle. Nasicha Miremba anasema tuned. Emmanuel Kipsang here I'm dude mambo. Alex, you know dude in another place is a very rude name, but anyway we'll take it for now because English is not our mouth. Alex Roni Biria anasema Kimungu locked in say I to Abu Daktari namtambua sana. David Kamasam, good morning team tackle. Keep quiet. When one talk of working with Kenyans politicians, then we are all done. All people come out with their own tune. All right. Wacha tukimpika magazeti kwa sababu tuwezi maliza hiyo maneno ya salamu. Salamu ni mingi. Tackle watu wanapenda salamu sana. Unajua lakini wamalizi kusema kwamba ujumbe ni kwamba kuvunjika kwa mwiko si mwisho wa upishi. The Standard nasema we did it. Young innovators tell their secret to success. Ni mambo ambayo ilikuwa imefanyika juzi. Nasema the gist of the story. Standard 9 inakuanga imeniangusha. Anyway, tuende kwanza People Daily. People Daily nasema all set for BBI. Kuna picha pale juu ya President Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Odinga na naibu wa rais Deputy President. President Uhuru Kenyatta with his Deputy William Ruto inside and political party leaders from left, Moses Wetangula, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Raila Odinga during yesterday's Mashujaa Day celebrations at Gusii Stadium in Kisii County. Pale pia inasema a case for change. President Uhuru used celebrations to rally support for constitutional reforms. Says it would be a tragedy if changes are not made before the general elections, as he takes a swipe at his deputy Ruto for suggesting the envisaged law and amendments are geared at creating positions for certain people. Right, kama gloves zimeanza kutolewa. Naona pia pale jinsi class 8 grade 4 assessment kicks off today. Ilikuwa imesukumwa jana kwa sababu ya Mashujaa Day. Kimanzi exits after bitter fallout pale Harambee Stars amechomoka. That is the coach Jacob Coast Mule set for surprise return as Harambee Stars tactician. That is Kimanzi. As Kimanzi gets out. Number page 2 inasema K creates own space for insaturated beer market. Ulevi Kenya hii. Anasema Kinyanjui threatens to withdraw pale chini page inasema pia Kinyanjui threatens to withdraw Nakuru bar licenses over COVID rules. Hiyo ni mambo ya Nakuru pale wanasema Governor Lee Kinyanjui is considering withdrawing bar licenses kwa sababu ya corona ambayo imeanza kusambaa. Pale pia kuna kwa na story mawaki stories pale People Daily. Kipsigis Stalai suffering injustice in the lands colonial senators. Mambo ya shamba pia. I'm seeing the Kericho South Rift is actually leading in agitation for repossessing of land that is being held by multinationals. Page 4 ni pale some president rally support for BBI to end Paul Chaos. Uhuru First Lady pioneer ADUMA number holders. Boy, ADUMA number. Naingia na shatu natoka na suti. Residents turned up in large numbers to attend Maiden and some national celebration in Kisii. Page number 6 inasema there is no country without history, there is no history without heroes. Number 7 page 7 some leaders one of COVID wave of COVID appeal for caution. Wanasema muanze kurudiana na mambo ya mask na sanitizing. I think Kenyans have stopped washing hands. A BBI report ready to be released anytime. I don't know if we are ready. Page 8 inasema patriotism, goodwill and merrymaking as Kenyans strive to honor heroes. Uko ni page 8 ya People Daily na page 9 covers the event yesterday in Kisii. Pale na page 10 ni mambo ya editorial sana sidhani kama ni muhimu, lakini kuna mahali pale unsung theater hero with will of steel. President celebrates youth for exemplary innovations. Pale mambo ya theater pia ambayo alifanyika pale, niliona kuna funduki imetengenezwa Kenya na kuna a hearth mover ya wanajeshi. Tuende kwa People Daily, Daily Nation nasema Duma secrets of magic number. Fears over COVID cases in school wakati shule zinafunguliwa. Inasema at least 2 cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in schools a week after basic educational institutions partially reopened, casting doubt on plans for full resumption of in-person learning. Pale pia kuna Avi decision stirs up controversy in LSK chairman Nelson Avi defends the decision to sack the society CEO. He says 9 council members who have opposed the action are being insincere. Pale chini pia inasema it is President Kenyatta and First Lady Margaret Kenyatta yesterday received their cards, but the rest of Kenyans would wait until December to receive document that will be primary source of identification. ID zenu zitaanza kutupwa, yangu pia imezeeka, naona nitaanza kuitupa mapema nikingoja huduma namba. What missing? Chika Dreader told mother. Deb Marital Uz weighed him down. I think ni mambo ya that is a lifestyle. Juma vows to bounce back. Mada MP to take plea tomorrow. Wakili atatuambia kunani pale Mombasa kwa Aisha Juma. My mother's death has taught me some vital lessons in life. Hiyo ni page 2. Page 3, Uru to you to deliver, follow your dreams. Tuende kwa maneno ya BBI kwanza. Mko tayari kwa BBI Singwe? Are you ready for BBI?
Well, I think let's just say that at this point in time, just the way His Excellency the Deputy President said, was that he's ready for a robust national conversation that is inclusive. I think part of the challenge with BBI is the manner in which it has been treated as top state secret. And the real question is, why the secrecy? The Constitution, the 2010 Constitution, as you know, was arrived at after such a comprehensive engagement of the public that it was a process that ran for years. every provision was scrutinized and people contested each of these provisions. And in the end, we gave to ourselves a constitution that we thought that by and large, it represented our aspirations. And those who opposed it. But once we had secured the constitution as supported by the majority, we all embraced it. And so the problem with the manner in which a BBI process is being pursued is that, number one, it's exclusive. It appears to be only a project of the chosen few. Secondly, the people have not really been consulted. If you look at the so-called consultation meetings, they were all choreographed. They were all sessions that involved chiefs, their assistants, headmen, etc. So it's all a rigged participation process in a way that is completely incompatible with the ethos of our constitution, which talks about public participation. And so while we do not actually know the contents thereof, we are saying that we cannot endorse an outcome whose process is tainted. An outcome is as strong as a process that has given rise to it. And so the BBI process so far, as we have seen it, has been rigged, it's been manipulated, it's been exclusive, and therefore we worry that the outcome thereof will not really be about engendering the interests of Kenyans. It will not be about safeguarding our rights further. It will not be about including or expanding the space for women and young people. And so we cannot really say much beyond the fact that we question the way in which the process has been structured, and therefore we will wait for whatever outcome it is and then deal with it when we have it on the table.
So you're not ready, in short.
I don't think the issue is being ready. I think the issue is, we really don't know.
What it's all about.
And it's extremely unfair to impose this on Kenyans, because it's something that is imposed from the top without real regard to what the felt needs of Kenyans at this point in time is. Because the point is that Kenyans are going through a great deal of challenge right now. Livelihoods have been eviscerated by the COVID, pandemic. Our economy is tanking. Hundreds and thousands of young people are without jobs. And the argument really is this a do or die moment? So on one hand, there is an argument that, yes, it is a do or die moment. Because if we do not fix our electoral system, then we are bound to have instability. But so if you do want to fix the electoral system, why is it so difficult then to include? Why is it so difficult to design a process that can begin to engender trust from the word go? All right? Why do you want to have winners and losers in a context that is supposed to fix a problem, a national problem, so to speak? So yes, we are ready, but we just feel that it's an extremely unfair, playing field right now.